Hello everyone, this is Eli G. Brown / Eli G. Brony, and welcome to another classic LEGO Bionicle review. In this episode, we are looking at a special edition set. This is Karzahni. This is a special edition set that came out in 2007. I believe it was a Toys R Us exclusive. Not really sure, but I think that is what it was. And it is a set that consists of one Titan, Karzahni, right here, two Matoran, Sarda and Idris, I think that is his name. No, actually it's Sarda. I just remembered that. I did put it in a quote in the, in a text when I did the Mahri Nui Matoran review. Now, I already looked over these guys in the Mahri Toran review. I just have them out in the set, so people will know that these characters do come in the set. And the set also contains a trap, which I also already reviewed in a separate video, but it's just there, so viewers will know that that was what the set included. So this is pretty much the entire Karzahni set, but we are only going to be looking at Karzahni because we've already looked over everything else here. So if you want to know more about these characters, I look over the Mahri Nui Matoran review, and if you want to know about the trap, go watch the review that I did on the trap. But we already looked over those, so we're not going to be doing it again. We are just going to be focusing on the star of the set. It is Karzahni, the big bad guy. Now, this is supposed to be a mutated version of Karzahni. This is not the original Karzahni that we saw, well, you know, in the realm of Karzahni, where the Matoran that eventually became the Toa Nika went into on their way to Voya Nui. They came across Karzahni, who switched their masks with new ones. And basically, he went into the pit, I think, and he somehow got mutated. I'm not quite sure if he got mutated by the Mask of Life, or if he got mutated by some other means, but regardless, this is what happened to him. Though it's quite a shame that we didn't get a set version of Karzahni in his original form, or at least the form that he took on when the future Toa Nika encountered him on their way to Voya Nui. Now, Karzahni is built pretty much using existing pieces, but he does include quite a number of new recolors. Now, I am going to point out, I'm not sure if I've said this in my previous review videos, but I am going to point out that I actually did not get the set, I just bricklinked him, because, well, for one thing, getting the full set can be quite expensive to do, and for another thing, I did already have some of the parts that I needed. The Paraka silver torso piece is actually the leftover silver torso piece in the Ernak set. You know, the set with Ernak where it's a combiner set that includes some exclusive parts. Since this one piece was not used on the actual Ernak set, I just went ahead and used that for building Karzahni here. I did manage to find the instructions online and just used them, so I don't actually have the instructions on me. I'm not quite sure if I'll actually get the instructions, so I at least would have the full set. Although there were some improvisations that I've had to do when creating this. For one thing, I've mentioned that for this Matoran, I had to spray paint that mask, and for another thing, I could not get one of the capes that was, one of the original capes, the same one that's used on Vizon, so I used a piece of the trash bag to create my own cape. As I've said, I really do not think that they should have made those cape pieces very expensive, because they are just capes. They're pieces of cloth. They should not be so pricey. You could make your own. Alright, well, Karzahni has quite a number of recolors, which is probably one reason why this set is a must-have. He has the Mantax feet in a dark green color. He also has 2 of the Tohordika Vakama mask pieces used on his knees. He also has a blend of the dark green and lime green Mantax/Karapar torso pieces used on his torso and on his shoulders. And he also has 2 of the Pridak feet attached together to create his head, which is quite an interesting way to create a headpiece using 2 pieces that were not even initially designed for that. And Karzahni also has, although they are not recolors, but he also has the Ilek headpieces used on his arms, well, on his hands. He also includes the Squid Launcher piece, and has 2 squids, 1 on each hand that he can use for that. Also has a couple of chains that are hanging off from the side. And he has all of these different spike pieces coming out. As far as the play value goes, his feet do work as they always have, although considering that we are using quite a lot of old pieces, and considering that a lot of this set, well, a lot of Karzahni is, aged, because at the time of the recording of this video, it's been 10 years since the set came out. So this has been quite some time. But, he does do his job quite perfectly, quite good, as far as play value goes. Although, as far as appearance goes, I don't really see any gaps on this character. Not really a lot of gaps that are really shown there. Although, I don't know if everyone would agree with me on that, but I just don't see quite a lot of gaps. Not really saying that this is a perfect set. I mean, no set is really perfect, in all honesty, but he just doesn't seem to have quite a lot of gaps on him like most Titan sets probably would have. But, he is pretty good at not having as many gaps as some other Titan sets have. So what do you think about Karzahni? Did you get him when you were a kid? Did you like him? Do you still like him? Did you hate him? Do you hate him now, if you ever liked him? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you again in my next review. See you next time.